Alright, welcome everyone to another episode of Ask the Installer. Today we have the great honor of having Bob Coward from Congress, New York, CarpetPlus ColorTile. He's been in this industry for plenty of years. He has a lot of knowledge to share. One thing is for sure, every time I walk in here I always try to learn knowledge and to learn more from these guys, and it's been tremendous thank God so far, and I'm looking forward. So Bob, take it away.
Alright, here's what you need to know, because you're not old enough to know all this stuff.
I'm trying.
Originally, we used to call it linoleum. I'm telling you this because you're in the vinyl business. Back in the 50s and the 60s, 6-foot wide linoleum, great stuff, very, very difficult to install. When the technology came about that sheet vinyl followed linoleum and became 12-foot wide, the installation of the product became much easier. The downfall was something called asphalt tracking. Asphalt tracking was when somebody bought a cream-colored sheet vinyl, white, off-white. Why did it turn yellow? It turned yellow because the asphalt in somebody's driveway, which was on the bottom of your shoes, tracked into the house and turned it yellow. So we as dealers shied away from it.
Right.
Eventually, laminate flooring comes along. Greatest thing since sliced bread. Very, very, very scratch resistant. Holds up very well. Except after my 20th replacement, due to excess moisture, no matter what we did, if there was a refrigerator leak or some kind of moisture on the job, it swelled up and we shied away from laminate flooring. Enter the market, what you do for a living. Vinyl tile. We've got click together vinyl tile and we have glued down vinyl tile. And the industry has learned where we should use one or the other. Glue down should be commercial jobs and a lot of residential jobs as well, because originally, even though something had a commercial rating on it, if it was a click product and it went into a area that might have some rolling traffic, like UPS dollies or something like that,
Or moving chairs around a lot.
rolling chairs is a killer.
Right. And people don't understand that.
And the tongues and the groove moved, broke apart, floor damage. That's how we learned to tell the difference between whether a job should be glued down or whether a job should be click flooring. The wonderful thing about the technology today is the different wear layers. The 12s, the 20, the 28s, the 22 mil wear layers are just a great tool for dealers to use making a decision where things are going to go. The biggest issue that I have found with other places doing jobs is that the installers know how to do the installation, but the mess up is in the preparation. A lot of people think that because you have a click floor, the floor could be just locked together over almost anything. Oh, you can have kind of a rough surface. It's okay, it's fine. No. The preparation for a glued down job and the preparation for a click flooring needs to be the same. Because if there is a void or if there is airspace underneath that click flooring, that is where the rolling chair is going to go, and that's where the job is going to fail.
100%.
So the absolute most important part of the job is the preparation. There are different price points, of course, of all these different products. But in the end, that's not the major difference in the cost of the job.
Right.
The labor is the same, the preparation is the same, okay, the freight is the same, okay, but one product is a little more than another. We always try to tell our clients, always try to go with the best product because all the other constants of the job, prep, the labor, the handling, the freight, it's all the same. So now that we have graduated through all these different pros and cons, briefly, of some of these floors, I see if the right recommendation is made on a job, we're not going to be replacing that job. Years ago, there was a life cycle to flooring. Nowadays, if we do the right thing, we do the right preparation, we pick the right product, we put it on the job, I'm not going to be going back to redo that job. We'll both be long retired by the time that needs to be changed again.
Yeah, that's what we're aiming for. So here's my question for you. Being that I deal with so many people out there, and actually even put out a video about that to ask, people what the excuse would be. So here's my question. When it comes to prep, why is there such a lack of knowledge? Is it the installers that don't want to do it because they know it's obviously a little bit more costly and it's going to take up more time because you have to wait, either you do hatching or skim coat or self-leveling? Everything takes extra time and obviously more labor intensive. Or is it because the consumers don't want to pay for it and they're just not educated about how important it has to be? Because there are so many DIY videos, right? If you go on YouTube, DIY click-in flooring, it's the most easiest thing you can do. It is technically a DIY, could be a DIY product if you know how you do it. If you did it 20, 30 times, that's fine. But what I'm seeing is a real lack of knowledge. That's what I'm thinking when it comes to the prep, which is so important because I've seen plenty of floors, as you said. I'm only in the business for a year and a half. We've been in this business much longer, and I've seen a lot of floors failing with not even within a year from when the floors are being laid down, and just because the prep was done horribly wrong.
Everything you said is correct. The consumers always want to spend less. The installers always could make more money getting a job in and going on to another job. So who is left with the responsibility of the job? Now, if it's a dealer like myself and that job fails 1 year from now, I'm the one responsible. So I have to educate my clients as to why we have to skim coat this floor to kill all these voids and kill all the old adhesive and fill the low spots in. Because if we don't, this job is going to fail. Somebody that does it themselves, they go to a big box store and they buy the material. They're getting a wonderful product. It's a great price. But it's all moot because if they don't do the right preparation, eventually it's going to fail. That's what's going to happen. And who's responsible?
It's going to be obviously...
Who's responsible in that case?
That's a good question. No.
They're not going to go back to the store. The store is going to say, well,
final sale.
We just sold you the material. We didn't do the labor. As far as the installers go,
he's going to say, you brought me the material. Go to the manufacturer.
The installers that are doing a job need to make a recommendation and say, okay, this is what needs to be done on the job. Here's how much it's going to cost. And if the client says, just put it down, they're just going to put it down. But that has to be noted somewhere that that installer is not responsible because they made a recommendation to do the right thing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
it's since the beginning of time, the preparation of the job has been the key. Whether it's patching the floor, even just sweeping. I mean, people do a click. I've seen click floors. We have not done them where the floor is not swept because, you can click and go over anything. No, it doesn't work that way.
100%, 100%. I hope this part can actually bring a lot of awareness because I just hear the feedback, and it's ridiculous to hear that people are, as you said, it's a little bit of both, right?
It's an investment to put a floor down nowadays.
Same way they would put down hardwood or carpet. You want to make sure they're going to make sure you're putting it down 100% right. Well, I guess vinyl, the stigma of vinyl became like, oh, it's a cheap product, so I don't have to.
A lot of people think that vinyl costs less than carpet. Well, it's not as soft, it's not as comfortable. Put down some vinyl. They don't realize that it's involved. The floor prep, the labor, the molding, the trim, making everything work. It's an investment in your home, in your business, which is why shortcuts is not an option.
100%. I could fully agree to that, and hopefully that can help out. So now let's take that a little bit further. So, once the prep is done, obviously 100% proper, what are you looking at in terms of vinyl when you're choosing vinyl for a customer? What are you looking at? What's important to you?
What's important to me is 5 years from now, that job still looks brand new. What's important to me is that we do a job for a client, they're going to have other flooring needs, and they're going to be coming back to me. That's why everything has to go according to plan. I'm really excited about technology. I mean, technology changes so quickly, and I'm wondering, how can it get better? With some of the click flooring that's got a little more meat to it, that's a little bit thicker, that's got a little heavier locking system. That's an improvement in technology. The old stuff, the original flexible stuff, called flexible LVT, we would install that, and so many times it would just be sliding apart. It just would not stay locked together. We've even taken, I was so scared on doing some click jobs that I even took, not with your product, with some others, I've even taken some what they call tile tabs that are used in carpet tile installation. It goes on the back of the carpet tile, and it doesn't stick to the floor, it sticks to the product.
Okay.
So on some high traffic areas, we've even used that on the back of the vinyl ends to ensure that it stays together.
Oh, wow.
So I'm looking for the technology that I don't have to worry about this stuff.
Right. 100%.
I don't want to have to go there.
Right. I mean, we've, you can tell us from when vinyl started, about 15 years ago, when the vinyl SPC products started coming out.
Well, there used to be, maybe before you were born, in the Bronx, there were two companies. One was called Eden and one was called Gomet. They made 1/8 inch solid vinyl tile, all custom made. That was fabulous. Why aren't they around? Because the product wasn't stable, and over years it shrank.
Oh.
And you wound up with gaps. It was a glue down installation, and you wound up with gaps on the job.
Uh-huh.
They're no longer around. The wear surface was great, the stuff looked great, but just with temperature change and atmospheric conditions and everything else that's going, shrunk.
So you've seen a lot of improvement.
Big time.
And yeah, obviously there's so much more innovation. I actually had another interview with a hardwood refinishing specialist here in Muncie, Morty Mendelowitz, Hardwood. So he used to have a hardwood distribution center, actually in Connecticut, 20 years ago. That's how he got into hardwood flooring. Now he specializes in refinishing. He didn't come up with the technology, but he's trying to bring it in much more. LED coating. Instead of using toxic chemicals or even any chemical that would smell by refinishing hardwood, he's innovating the market with a product that's an LED machine, which is 100% safe, kid-friendly, pet-friendly, every type of thing. And the base that they use to it is also, it's not edible, but it's a non-toxic at all meats, kid-proof, anything. His idea is, he's in your house at 9 in the morning or 8 in the morning, and by 6 o'clock afternoon, he can finish up to 3,000 to 4,000 square feet. with just a crew of 2 guys. From scraping to refinishing without coming back. That's moving your furniture out. His idea was that he was bringing the technology of when they sell the pre-finished hardwood, they use that machine. It's the same idea as they dry freeze any type of frozen vegetables or any type of frozen item, right? It goes through a machine that dry freezes it really quickly.
Is that a UV coating?
Yeah. So his idea was when they do it in larger production for pre-finished hardwood that comes with a UV coating ready, it goes through a machine. The time it enters the machine until it finishes coming out of the machine, take a couple of minutes, and it's dry. You can wipe it over your finger. There's nothing there. And you can use it ready to package, all set and done. Why, when it comes to refinishing your hardwood, why does it have to take 3 days? And then the smells, and you have to move out, you have to move in, and it only works certain times when you're on vacation. There's so, innovate. There's so much more innovation. That's where he came in. He brought that into the market. That people are crazy about it because you're 1 day in and out. You go to work in the morning, you come back afternoon, and it's done.
Well, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people I know call me up and say, can you cover up my hardwood? Because I don't want to go through the time and the mess and the trouble of taking care of that. The bottom line is that a sturdy finish? That's really what it...
Yes.
If it's a sturdy finish and it holds up the foot traffic...
Right, but the idea was about innovation. He had a vision.
Yeah.
He saw this in the past. It's like, if we can do it on a large machine, large surface, we can do it on a smaller. And that's where he brought that in here. But as he said, there's so many guys that are doing this for 20, 30 years, professional floor finishers.
That's what they learned.
That's what they learned, but why not try to innovate?
I'm all for it.
So he told me that he was trying to experiment. It's so hard, innovating is one of the toughest things. Changing what you're used to is a very tough thing, so it takes time.
Yeah,
and hopefully...
No kidding. It's like trying to teach us old people how to use a computer.
Sorry.
I mean, it's the same thing. Yes, you're so used to doing something one way that sometimes you're not open to doing it other ways because you don't like change.
Right.
In this business, you better get used to change because it's going to happen.
Right. 100%. So we're definitely trying to focus on that, and obviously a lot of this is feedback. A lot of it, I would say 90% of it, is hearing feedback from our customers to see, how the process goes, what they're comfortable with, if they have any issues, anywhere where we can improve, new designs, new colors. That's where we're going around to designers and architects and actually having conversations with them about new trends, new colors, new ideas. So that's something really on top of our mind, and we constantly keep doing it, especially me.
Us people that are in the flooring business, some people call us salespeople, but we're not. We're really looking to make a sale, but we're consultants. We have to look at every single job and make a decision what's best for the client. That's consulting. And sometimes they go with it and sometimes not. But that's what you have to do for your vendors.
Of course.
You consult with them and you show them what's best.
That's it. It's not about the sale. It's about what the right fit and what the right need is for that customer base. Obviously, every customer has what they need for their customer base. So yeah, it's understanding.
The best way to get that information is to listen. And a lot of people don't know how to listen.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Just listen and just take it all in.
That's it, of course. I think we can continue on for years. I don't want to waste your time, Rob. I know you're very busy, thank God. We can definitely come back for another episode and have a discussion about it. But thank you so much for your time right now. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
It's a pleasure dealing with you. And for anyone out there, you service anywhere besides for Rockland, probably Orange County, anywhere else besides for...
Well, this business, we don't advertise. We've got about a 100-mile radius. I was up in Hartford, Connecticut last week. We're doing a job in Vermont coming up. It's all word of mouth. It's all recommendation. It's all referral. And it keeps us running.
That's great. That's great. But if you want to check it out, there's a great showroom. Great products. All types of carpets, vinyl, laminates. any type of flooring surface probably that you can think of, he would carry, at least get for you.
Our best asset is all of us who work here have over 40 years in the business.
Yeah.
So we've been around the block and we know what to do and what not to do.
That's it. You're going to have the best consultants, as Bob
Thank
says.
you.
Walk in here, give him a call. I'll put the phone number, website, everything up there, the address as well.